Oh, that's A&E. Okay, that's a pretty big channel. And it says, foul-mouthed mom loses it during custody hearing. A lot of times on this channel, I often say, we can't save these hoes. Only God can save these hoes, but we can learn from these hoes. So this video is basically going to be one big what not to do if you are ever in custody court.
You are.
Mr. Merchant, don't speak that way in court.
We're in Monroe, Michigan for a child custody hearing. The plaintiff, Tyler Zonka, has a 5-year-old son with Kaylee DeMerchant, who's facing 2 drug charges in another county.
Oh no.
Zonka was recently awarded full custody, and today his attorney, Derek Jacques, has asked Judge Mark Braunlich to continue that order and limit DeMerchant's visitation rights.
Isn't this such bullshit too, though? Before I even start, it really upsets me whenever you hear about a single dad who has actually managed to gain full custody of his children during a drug situation, which is one of the only ways that a man really ever gets like full custody. There are some who are just powerhouses of money and that's how they do it, but a lot of times you don't really hear about men gaining full custody unless something really bad has happened. But what's even more frustrating about that is even if he gets it, even if they're like, okay, yes, you're clearly the more suitable home for these children, it's often only a temporary order. Like, these courts really will give drug-addled mothers second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chances all the time. And like, a dad who fights for his kids rarely ever stops having to fight. Sadly.
But the judge has decided to adjourn the proceeding until DeMerchant consults with an attorney. Also on the call is...
Dude, that's another really frustrating thing. And like, it's fair if they were to afford that same grace to both fathers and mothers, but I swear I so often see judges more likely to delay if mom isn't able to afford proper representation than I ever do the other way around. The first time that my husband and I went to court for family court related reasons for his son that he shares with an ex, we couldn't afford an attorney at first. Do you think that they gave us any more time or gave us resources for who could help fund single fathers? Like, no, they most certainly did not. But here, even though she's already lost full custody of her children due to multiple drug charges, they're still not only making the dad have to fight to keep this court order in place, but they're also like, well, we really don't want to make too strict of a decision if she's not properly represented. And I'm like, why are you infantilizing grown-ups?
Mediator Joshua Walker.
Miss Merchant, do you have any objection to the court adjourn this so you can talk to an attorney?
No, sir.
And look at this. She's not even grateful for that. They're literally going to adjourn the entire court date. And anybody who's been involved in court understands you have to take this time off work. You have to arrange for childcare. You are often sitting there taking up the whole day to get dressed up and see if they'll even see you. They're willing to adjourn the entire thing so that she can have more time to get a lawyer, which again, if you afford that to everybody, that's great. But if you're only doing it to drug-addled mothers, why?
Okay. Mr. Jocks, anything else you want to add?
We would like to bring the court's attention is that during a Zoom meeting with Mr. Walker that Mr. Merchant felt it appropriate to give us the middle finger, and her background picture on her Zoom when her camera's turned off has the words, "You have my permission to die" on it.
So it sounds like during the mediation leading up to this court date, she decided to flick them off and also had a background image. So not something that she like put up, but the waiting image said, what was it? "You deserve to die." Don't do that. Guys, it's legit. Again, this is also one of the main reasons that people hire lawyers, is so that someone else is speaking for you, someone who is trained in not flying off the handle and making subtle death threats in recorded instances of the law.
Which we did not think.
What are you talking about? I did not say that.
Okay, well, let's hear you up.
I did not say that, no.
It's a good thing they didn't say that you did say it. It's a good thing that they were very clear that it was a background image that you put up. Let's not play the semantics game, ma'am. You know what you did.
What are you guys talking about? That is hearsay. Thank you.
All right.
Ooh, she knows the court terms. That is hearsay. So it's actually not hearsay. Hearsay is she said that she said. In this case, it's this is an image that you can literally look at on a pre-recorded video.
It's on your background. You probably want to remove that.
I did not. No, you can review it, Mr. Judge.
The judge moves on to DeMerchant's visitation rights.
What about the FaceTime between mom and in the intro? Any objection to that, Mr. Jocks?
You are really something, huh? You think I'm
Hold on,
going to say
Mr.
that in the
Merchant.
court of law?
Mr. Merchant. Mr. Merchant. The court is trying to inquire. Maybe we could do some FaceTime between you and your son in the meantime.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Are you being cynical or are you being serious?
I'm being emotional, Your Honor. I apologize.
Okay. Mr. Jocks, any reason why we cannot set up a couple of maybe 2 days a week for a mom to facilitate initiate a phone call to...
Mr. Zonka doesn't have a problem with it. Our only concern would be about the PPO.
There's a PPO?
Zonka.
Uh-oh, it sounds like things have just exacerbated a little bit. We're talking about visitation. Sounds like they don't really trust her in person, so they're thinking about doing FaceTime a couple times a week, which he's fine with. But there's a PPO in the mix, and it sounds like this is her first time hearing about it.
Has filed a PPO, or personal protection order, against DeMerchant, which prevents her from physically seeing her ex.
Okay, before we even get to that, I want to address one comment. I'm a Reindeer says they hate sarcasm in court. I cannot stress this enough. I have literally seen entire court decisions turn on their head because of a smirk or a sarcastic facial expression, or even just the way that you are emoting. I have literally watched these Zoom YouTube cases where the judge was going to do 50-50, but then one of the parties makes some kind of a face and he just turns it around and makes a completely different decision. So like, you really have to watch yourself in the courtroom, dude. Now, I'll also say when it comes to PPOs, some of you might be like, well, actually, it's kind of unfair that she didn't realize there was a PPO. She should be given notice of this. So actually, there are situations where a person is not legally required to receive notice that there is a PPO out against them, where it's actually just optional to serve them with notice if you want to. And that is when a PPO is granted ex parte. Ex parte means that it is granted without trial. It means that whatever evidence you submitted to the judge was so concrete and clear that you are in danger from this person that they did not feel the need to even have a trial at all. Now, if they find out about it, then I think that they can fight it. It's also responsible to still serve notice of your PPO, even though you don't technically have to, because if you do have proof that they've received notice, then any punishment for them breaking the PPO is more severe. For example, a police officer could choose to arrest someone who has a PPO out on them if they don't know about it, but they're more likely to if the PPO is established and they've been properly served for it. I just want to make that part of the law clear. It's also possible that they might be waiting to serve her. It's also possible that she may be evading being served or has such inconsistent housing and living situation that it's almost impossible for her to be served. I'm unfortunately familiar with the situation.
Excuse me! Tyler put a PPO against me.
Hold on. Does the PPO prohibit contact between you and Mr. Merchant?
I believe it permits contact only.
Wow, are you a...
we're going to mute you, ma'am. You're interrupting the court proceedings.
Didn't she previously just say, do you really think I'd say that in the court of law? It's like, I don't know, man. Your behavior is really making none of this surprising to me. Like, I understand the PPO. I do believe that you would say that in the court of law. You're discrediting yourself. But real quick, boys, it's time for some spring cleaning. I'm gonna help you get groomed from cheek to shining cheek with Manscaped's Beard and Balls bundle, baby. I am not playing with you. This package comes with the Beard Hedger, which comes with 20 unique settings, whether you're trying to look seminary level clean or putting the final rustic touches on a full-size lumberjack. Or as us ladies call you behind your back, a lumber snack. Looking to spruce up your carpet downstairs? We've got you. With the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra's dual blade and skin safe technology, you can feel confident buzzing away in even the most sensitive of spots. These tools are waterproof, equipped with a travel safe lock, and come with precision lighting to keep you from that awkward moment of getting all the way to work just to realize you missed a spot on your face. Like I said, I got you. I think of these things. Also, I've been married forever, so I know it's about as common as when us ladies forget a singular hair on our kneecaps and it distracts you all day long. So don't cut corners with your shaving routine. Upgrade to the Beard and Balls bundle by going to manscaped.com and using my code Dadvocate to get 20% off plus free shipping. And you can feel confident moving into March knowing that Manscaped also has a 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee. Less ingrown hairs, more professional quality style with the Beard and Balls bundle. Now 20% off with code DADVOCATE when you go to manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped. My husband and I love you. Now let's get back to the show.
After a brief pause, Judge Bromlich attempts to return the conversation to the proposed video calls between DeMerchant and her son.
He's trying to stay on track, man.
Unmute Mr. Merchant.
They muted her. That's another great thing, though, about the Zoom hearings is, like, you can't mute someone in person, but, like, if they're getting out of line, you can absolutely just, and you're done.
Mr. Merchant, the court would like there to be some face contact. The court's suggesting Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so I can see him on video. Because
Yes.
Tyler has a PPO. What does the PPO entail, please, sir?
I don't have that in front of me. Another judge entered that.
And like, what is it pertaining to? Please tell me, one of you guys, your attorney or Tyler, that would be great.
You probably serve that. You can always come down to the county courthouse, get a copy of the clerk's office. Another judge entered that.
I want to know what it entails.
Until now, but the court's going to include
I wouldn't
this
know where it
recommendation.
either, sir. He don't on me. I also want it stricken from the record that I said I hope he dies. I
You
don't
want
even know
full
what that
contact
is.
or not, Mr. Merchant?
Why is she playing so dumb? She knows what she made the background image. Also, real quick, Samantha said, I had a psycho stalk us too. She sent us formula. Yeah, let me tell you, formula is a very expensive gift, you know. Typically, if you do need to formula feed, you know, or even like if you're breastfeeding and just supplementing with formula, like I heard that goes for like 40 to 50 like a can now. It's insane. So like, you ordinarily formula is a great gift, but like formula sent to you from a stalker, yeah, we're not feeding that to the baby under any circumstances. No.
I'm trying to accommodate some relationship between mother and child. Do you want FaceTime with or not?
Yeah, that's
so hard.
Wonderful.
Didn't she just apologize for that exact sarcastic tone earlier? Why even apologize if you're gonna do it again 5 seconds later?
All right. So you'll initiate at 6 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can call 6 o'clock tonight to Tyler's phone number, and he'll put it in front of so can talk with you for a short time. Obviously, a 5-year-old's not going to talk real long.
How long am I allocated a phone call with my child?
Well, be reasonable. I mean, obviously, if he's bored, you know, probably 5 minutes. I mean, the 5-year-olds are not going to talk for a long period of time, so try to gauge him. Ask him how his day was. There is no time limit, ma'am. There's no time limit.
This is so fair. This is such a big point of things that I talk about with like moms and dads going through co-parenting all the time is like the Facebook argument. Oh my God, there's so many arguments over Facebook. And I do kind of understand it. I mean, FaceTime, sorry. But I do kind of understand it to a degree, especially because a lot of these parents, they live really far away from each other. So FaceTime's their only method, or they have such restricted time with their child that they really rely on these FaceTime calls. But the judge is absolutely right. There is no way of enforcing a specific time limit for these FaceTime calls, because there are going to be sometimes, especially with a 5-year-old, that they're down for a nap. Like, it's unreasonable to wake these children up for these FaceTime calls. Or maybe that there's like a friend's birthday or something. Like, you can't be selfish as a parent and insist that your child go leave the roller rink to give you a FaceTime call, and that it be for exactly 20 minutes, even if they don't really have anything to talk about. So once she started like making these demands and like her whole attitude, it kind of just gave me the impression that like the spending quality time with her children isn't what she's really fighting for. It's the quantity of time that she wants to secure for her own ego that she's determined to have. And that's what bothers me. Is it bothers me when parents need the parenting time just to have it, even though they're like sending the kids to someone else in the time that they're supposed to be watching them anyway, or like they're not even spending time with the kid. That part always bothers me. But what bothers me even more is it's like, you know, let's finally finish up this top 5 degen list, but you know, we've got people who go after kids, we've got people who drink and drive, we've got people who hurt animals, we've got people who fake disabilities for gain, and then we've got people who won't stop freaking doing drugs and getting wasted in front of their kids, and yet won't let the healthier parent have them. That's what's degenerate. I actually do have empathy for people who are battling addictions and know that they're not the best one to be with the kids. But you're going to prevent these kids from actually having a good life with someone safe and stable just because your ego can't handle not being the custodial parent? Degenerate. You suck. Congrats. You made the top 5 list, dude. That pisses me off. And it's like, you're the one who decided to do all these drugs. Why are you acting like having consequences is insane? Why are you acting like someone putting out a PPO against you is the craziest, most unethical, wrong thing he could have done? Lady, you're on drugs. No, he doesn't want to be around you. Lady, you're very aggressive. Of course he doesn't want to be around you. You have put up messaging that implies you would like for him to die, something that far too many men in high-tension custodial situations genuinely fear. Look at the Jared Bridegan situation. Look at the situation we're going to be covering this Thursday about the woman who killed both of her baby daddies. These situations get so extremely volatile. You cannot make threats like that because he has every responsibility to take it very deathly seriously. She's acting like it's unreasonable that she can only FaceTime her kids. Sorry, we don't want our kids to see you with needles in your arm, lady, or with a pile of special sugar on the table. But you did this to yourself. Have some goddamn accountability. All right, I missed a couple super chats though. Prince Elorian, so good to see you. What possessed him to father a child with her? Did she hold him at knife point, gunpoint, chains in the basement? Must have been Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, I will say he looks like just a very regular guy. I don't know this guy. He could be a very deeply imperfect person. He could be deeply troubled and have his own issues himself, for sure. It could have been one of those situations. I mean, the child is 5 years old. How many times does this happen where you meet the person and they're, you know, really a great covert narcissist, or maybe it's pre-addiction and they're a completely different person, and addiction can change you rapidly. I've seen so many people who look just like her pre-addiction, and they were beautiful people, but then they get lost on the sauce, snorting the sugar or shooting stuff up, doing the meth, and then all of a sudden they're like practically balding, rail thin. Their personalities are like almost instantly bipolar seeming, like the highs, the lows are off the chain. They're completely dysregulated. Addiction takes you quickly, and I want to have empathy for people who are doing the right stuff. I don't know if she's doing the right stuff though. And then Shiny Luna, thank you for your super chat, says, just got here. What I miss? Is she an absent mom? She lost custody for drug addiction. The judge is trying really hard to start slowly introducing her to the kids, but she absolutely cannot stop ruining it for herself. Is that a fair TLDR?
be a reasonable, sensible adult parent.
Judge Bronlich adjourns the case until
Carl said he committed the crime of being mid and is therefore forced to have terrible baby mama. Stop, that's so mean.
the merchant can consult with an attorney.
Back August 1st at 1:30. Hopefully we can address
Oh
the
my
pretty time
god,
at that
she's
time.
about to crash out. She's about to start punching the wall.
That'll conclude this matter. We can zoom out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
You are.
Mr. Merchant, don't speak that way in court.
Ah. So here's what not to do and what to do. You see this guy? Absolutely non-emotive, speaks very briefly with only essential information when explicitly directed by the judge, attorney as well, keeping very, very straight-faced. The best thing you can do, dude. I cannot stress this enough. Whether you are the plaintiff, whether you are the defendant, whether you are the one with custody or without, when you are in court, ideally, you want an attorney. And when you are in court with your attorney, you are a potted plant. You are not emoting. You are not speaking. You are barely breathing. You just reach whatever state of zen you need to tap into. If you need to just stare at the wall and count to 1,000, that's what you do. But you do anything but emote or speak, and you will be ahead of the game, I will say. Oh man, okay, we got like a few more seconds of this actually.
Hopefully we can address the pretty time at that time.
Dad, think about that, dude. They were about to give her FaceTime. They were about to extend her visitation, but because she was being so erratic, they decided not to even cover it. They're like, we'll just wait for the next court hearing then. Oh my god. People just self-destructing, dude. Call her Electrode.
That'll conclude this matter. We can zoom out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
You are.
Mr. Merchant, don't speak that way in court.
He knows what he is.
Unaffected.
The merchant was a no-show at the August 1st hearing, so Zonka retained full custody of their son, though she still allowed video visitations, which she's been attending regularly. The case is now closed, but the merchant can request a review in the future.
Didn't even show up, dude. And they say moms can't be deadbeats. And I bet you everyone she talks to, too, she's got them convinced of this whole sob story of, he took the kids away from me and all I'm able to do is video chat them and he's such a terrible person. You know, I had mixed feelings before on if these Zoom court hearings should be broadcast and mass distributed across YouTube, but like, man, I'm kind of glad they are at this point, truly. Sarge said, I think it's the Asmon hairline that gets me. Oh no, she is really Asmon gold looking. That is deeply unfortunate. Oh my god. Didn't show and still want contact with the kids. Shaking my head. Right? Isn't that the crazy thing is the judge was still like, well, like even the dad I'm sure was like, because the kids do want to see their mom. That's the sad thing, is like every parent knows it. No matter like what the other parent is like, the kids want to see their parents. So he's like still trying to accommodate. But I bet those are some high conflict FaceTimes if I had to guess.